Kia ora, whānau. Hey, happy Monday. It's public holiday for those of you in Auckland. I hope you guys had a great long weekend. Hey, I was just about to make some mini herb and garlic pull-apart bread rolls to have with some soup we're having tonight for dinner. And I was thinking about, I've had my Thermomix TM7 now for a week, and I was thinking about what I like, what I'm still getting used to, and what I don't like about it. And I thought, well, what I'll do is take you guys for a quick review of what I think of my first week with the TM7. So first of all, the big thing you got to notice is the gorgeous new screen. I am in love with this. Not only is it big and crisp and clear, it's also so responsive. I just love the ability that you can scroll as fast as you like. Oh, better go back a recipe. You can scroll as fast as you like and the machine keeps up with you. I don't know about you guys, but with the TM6 it can be a little bit laggy. Completely gone with this. It's absolutely amazing. Another thing that really struck me about this model is how graphic it is. So I love the ability to have pictures of ingredients. So for example, if you're doing a recipe and it talks about garlic cloves, there's pictures of garlic cloves there as well as the number. But one thing that blew me away was even the modes, how graphic it is. Oh, hey Diane, thanks for joining me. So I'm going to go into my modes and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So I'm going to hit the little blade symbol down the left hand side. And if I pick a mode, for example, if I pop into egg boiler mode, what I now have are pictures of what the egg looks like. Instead of just the terminology, do you want well done, do you want medium, do you want runny, you actually get a gorgeous picture showing you what the finished egg will look like. And I know you're going to call me weird and unattractive, but the thing that really got me was the pre-clean mode, because it actually gives you a picture of what the bottom of the bowl looks like to help you choose which pre-clean setting you want. So it's really clever stuff. And as you can see, I was talking about, the screen is very responsive. I love the customizable home screen. So I don't know if you can see on my home screen or not very clearly, but what I've got in my top left hand corner are the recipes I've got planned to cook. Over here, I've got my favorite modes. And you can actually customize the home screen to show what you want to do. If you just want to have it full of cockadoo recipes, you can do that. I've got a combination of cockadoo and my favorite modes. So instead of having to swipe left or right, depending upon what I was doing with the TM6, my favorite modes are sitting there just ready to go. Yeah, Diane, I agree. I was actually thinking when they announced the TM7, I don't know how they can make this machine better. I was just, what on earth could they do to make this even better? But yeah, blown away, absolutely blown away. So not only do I like the beautiful big screen and I like the very graphical nature of it, the ability to keep up with the speed of your scroll is really impressive. I really like the way that there's now a consistency in which way you go. So before you weren't quite sure whether you go left, you go right. Now it's always up and down, and all your buttons on the side take you straight to where you want to go. So it's really nice and easy. I'm loving the new spatula. Took me a little bit to get used to. What I love about the spatula is that it actually cleans more of your bowl at once. So not only does it have a larger silicone bit to clean the bowl, you can actually stand it up like that, or you can put it down on its back like that, and it still keeps the side that touches your food off your bench. So it's really clever. The one thing I have discovered about the spatula is it gets a little bit trickier when you're getting your simmering basket out. So I'll show you what I mean. So we have this beautiful new simmering basket, and if I sit that in there, it works exactly the same as the TM6. And then what you've got is that little hook there that lets you get your simmering basket out. However, what I have learned through trial and error is that this hook is a lot steeper. I'll show you what I mean. So if I'm going to get this out, I've got to go in at quite a sharp angle to get it out. Now what I've got here is the TM6 version. So I don't know if you guys will notice, but I'll see if I can do it in a clever way. The angle that you put the spatula in is much higher. And I think for me, one of the frustrating things was I didn't realize that. And I was kind of thinking, why is this not catching? Why is it not catching? Until I realized I had to go in a lot steeper angle, and then it's fine. And of course, as you already know, we've also got this handy dandy lid where you can lift the lid of the simmering basket without getting burnt. So that is actually quite clever. So what else do I love? This is something I never knew I needed, but now that I have it, I cannot imagine life without it. And that is the ability to take the lid off. I don't know about you guys, but you know, with the TM6 with the locking arms, you kind of just got used to it. I love the ability just to whip the lid off and have a look and see what's happening and put the lid back on again. You don't have that, oh, I've got to wait. When I hit the button, I've got to wait that timeout period before the arms will release and I can take the lid off. Absolutely love that. That is so, so cool. I love the self-tearing scales. Again, it's something I never thought I'd ever need, but just the ability for the scales to take them back down to 0 in between ingredients. So when you've got a recipe step up, you might have 5 or 6 ingredients all listed on the screen. So for example, there might be 300 grams of flour. So as soon as you drop the 300 grams of flour in the bowl, the scales automatically tear back to 0, waiting for the next weighed ingredient to go in. With the TM6, I would have to weigh it, push the next button, go to the next step and put the next ingredient in. This is so much faster. And the other thing is, because you can see all the ingredients in one step, you're better prepared for what's going on. Oh, thanks. Yeah, they are new. Thank you. Yeah, Diane, I agree. As I said, I'm firmly in love with my TM6. Don't get me wrong; it is a phenomenal machine. But over a week of using this, it feels like I'm going back in time to go back to my TM6 now. But don't get me wrong, the TM6 is an amazing machine. Yeah, they certainly have. What do I don't like? What am I a little bit hazy about? This is not going to hit you as really strange, but the thing that freaks me out continually is how quiet it is. I'm used to the sound of the motor running, and when you're cooking or doing something and I don't hear it running, I think, oh crap, the power's been cut or it's switched off or something's happened. And I'm finding that I'm constantly, every 5 or so minutes, running to the machine to see if it's still on. And I know this will get better with time. I understand that it's just that they'll get used to, but it still freaks me out, and I'm constantly checking my machine. Another little niggle I have is the way you change recipes. So if you've got a recipe cooking and maybe you've finished the recipe but you've not hit the finish button on the screen, with the TM6, when you say I want to start a new recipe, it says there is a current recipe running, do you wish to exit it? And you go yes. With the TM7, it says there is a recipe already running, you have to finish that recipe first. So I know it's something little, and it's just a touch of the screen, but it's something that, something I'm still getting used to. Yeah, the quietness is just spooky. It's like when you live in the city and you suddenly go to the country for a weekend and you think, where's the traffic noise? It just becomes part of your ingrainedness. Now, another thing that I find I'm still getting used to, I love open top cooking. I love the ability to take the lid off, sample it and say, oh, yeah, I'm going to adjust that or put more of this in. But one thing I have found is that when you are using open top cooking, sometimes if the mixture is boiling, you can end up with a lot of, well, not a lot, you can end up with some splash over happening. So it means your machine gets a little bit messy because you may have something that's boiling in there and it's coming down the sides. So love open top cooking. However, what I found I have been doing is when something is open top cooking and it's on a slow boil, I've been tending to put the lid on. It just stops that splash coming out of the bowl. But yeah, as far as the ability to take it off, sample it, I think it's absolutely magical. Really cool. Do I recommend you get one? Yeah. Yeah, blown away. Absolutely blown away. One of the sexiest things I think they've done is added the little lever on the end to release the bowl. So much easier. What I have been doing is when I've been putting it through the dishwasher, I've just been putting the stainless steel insert in, because I'm finding that the actual black insulation, which is what helps me keep it so quiet, it actually doesn't get dirty. Like, I mean, the food pretty much just sits in here and it's nice and easy. So just drop my blade back in, and we're just going to slide that across. I am loving the fact that it's so easy to get the bowl on and off as well. It's really cool tech. Yeah, it is a little bit spooky. But anyway, guys, I just thought I'd show you quickly. As I said, I'm going to make the mini herb garlic pull-apart bread, and I'll show you a little bit about how Cockatoo operates on it. So if you haven't had a chance to play with the TM7 yet, we have got loads and loads of open homes and showcases running up and down the country. Please reach out. We can point you to the nearest one, and you can get hands-on and see how it goes. Diane, no, you don't actually need the splash guard, because what happens is that the actual lid itself doesn't actually have an opening in it. You can still use it the same way, so you can still, like, if you're making your cooked mayo, you can still use it to drizzle in your olive oil to emulsify. You can still use it to separate eggs and things like that. But yeah, it just, because it's got the little bit in the middle, it doesn't allow any fat spatters and things to come out of the bowl anymore. So yeah, you don't need a splash guard. Julia, I think it is a little bit smaller. Yeah, one thing that I never actually thought of till someone mentioned to me is the fact that you can easily put this in a drawer. So when you're finished cooking with it, you can just take your lid off, take your bowl off, turn it off, and this nice and easily just fits in a drawer. Whereas with the TM6, because it's quite, because it's designed with the locking arms on it, it takes a lot more real estate up. Yeah, it's a lot easier. Yes, I am planning on coming up to Kiri Kiri. Yeah, I need to talk to the lovely Inky up there, and we're going to organise something to come up and see you guys. But anyway, I'm going to start making my dough, and I'll show you how it works, because it is a little bit different. So on my home screen, I'm going to push the button that says herb and garlic pull apart bread. Now, when the recipe comes up, because I'm skipping the garlic the garlic butter step, when I hit start, give it a minute, my internet connection's a bit slow. I can use my finger and I can scroll up and down through the steps. So in the old days, it's the equivalent to go next, 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 next. So I'm going to scroll past, scroll past, scroll past. So we're making the butter. We're simmering. Okay. So now I'm at the step that I want to start cooking the recipe from. So I'm actually at step 14 of the recipe. So what I'm going to do is hit the 3 dots, and I'm going to say, mark this as my current step, i.e. that's where I want to start from. Cool. Now, one of the new things about it is, of course, we always get our digital twin. So our digital twin is this little picture over here that shows me what's happening in the bowl. So you'll notice that when I put the lid on, it shows me it's got the lid on. When I take the lid off, so it's quite graphical. So it's asking me to add in 300 grams of water. So here we go. Now, I don't know if you can see this on the screen, but actually there's a picture of a bowl and it's slowly filling up with liquid. Now I'm going to try and exactly hit around the 300 mark. Well, hey. And if you can see what's happening, that green stripe is now clicking that step as done. And now it's asked me to add 2 teaspoons of my yeast. Just like that. And if I click the next button, you see I've got a picture here of the lid, and it's saying put the lid on the bowl. So it's already pre-programmed for 3 minutes at 37 degrees speed 1. So on goes the lid. My little button goes green to say yep, start, and all I do is hit start. One of the other things that again I didn't think I needed in life. Can you hear that? Again, it's one of those situations of, are you working? Because I cannot hear a thing. With this is the TM6, it'll give you an instruction such as like speed, turn the speed dial to speed number 7. And you'd have to flick the silver knob till it became number 7. There is a possibility you could go under 7, or a possibility you could go over 7. So you had to read the instruction at the bottom to make sure you knew what you were turning it to. With the TM7, all you do is hit play. And then it just does that step. So there's no turning it to making sure the speed is right. It's already set there, ready to go. So yeah, it's quite incredible. Yeah, movie night, love it. And what I can do, even though we're currently on this step, I can continue to scroll. So I can see exactly what we're doing. I'm just going to hang out for this step. So I'll show you as it weighing the other ingredients in. Now, we have still got the cooking center. So we touch that 3 lines at the top. It tells me the recipe that's currently running. And I can also quickly pop into the timer. I can pop into the scales, or I can pop into pre-clean as well. Again, I can hit my back arrow, go back to my home screen. So if I want to pop in, I can continue to look at it, cook or do whatever I like. And along the top of the screen, it's also showing me, as we did with the TM6, what the machine is up to. So we've got 1 minute 13 at 37 degrees, and we have hit target. So it's quite clever. We have got a couple of new modes. Now, so far I've only used this for guided cooking. I haven't actually used it for manual, using the modes automatically. So we do have a new browning mode. So with the browning mode, it takes us up to 160 degrees. And you can choose whether you want a gentle stir or an intense stir. So that's quite cool. You've got the choice of the 2 of them. We also have the steaming mode. Now with the TM7, if you do a manual cook, you can't, there is not a temperature called varoma anymore. So if you want to maintain that constant slow boil to get your maximum steaming efficiency, we go into steaming mode in the modes. As I was talking about before, we have open top cooking. So open top cooking is when you can cook without the lid on, and it's perfect if you want to adjust seasoning, things like that. So if I go back to the recipe, I can take my lid off just like that, no problem at all. So the machine is pausing. When I put the lid back on, the machine resumes. So yeah, nice and easy. Cool. So we'll do the next step. So we're adding, lid goes off. The scales are automatically tearing. And so we're going to add 500 grams of high-grade flour. Almost there. 504. My little green bar is sneaking across the screen to say, yep, I got that. It's asking me for 1 teaspoon of sea salt. I'm going to throw in 1 teaspoon of chili salt. I'm going to add a little bit of heat to it. And that goes. I'm going to tick it off. And 60 grams of extra virgin olive oil. What I have done, I have kept my oil from my sun-dried tomatoes. So instead of using plain olive oil, I'm going to be using the sun-dried tomato oil. So here we go, 60 grams. Cool. And away it goes, it's ticking off, and we're ready to go to our next step. Asking me to put the lid on. Then we're going to hit play. So 6 seconds, speed 6. I'll just take you up to the next step, which is the kneading mode, and you see how quiet it is. Yeah, it's a little bit of a cha-cha. Look at this. Nice and easy. And as I was talking about the spatula, because it's a full height spatula, it means that when you're going round, you're getting like most of the bowl. You're not having to go round and round and round and round. Oh, gosh, that smells yummy. That tomato, sun-dried tomato oil is so good. Okay, on goes the lid. Next step, dough kneading mode. Let's hit play and see what we got like. Can you guys see that? It's almost silent. It's just spooky. It does have a slider board built in, so it means that if you do want to move the Thermomix, you can just lift it up from the front and drag it on its back leg. As you can see, I noticed it doesn't move as much on the bench. So it's pretty stable. So even though the lid is on, it's magnetically sealed. So yeah, it looks like you can just whip it on and off as you like, but there is actually a locking mechanism in there, as there is a locking mechanism to lock the bowl onto the base. But yeah, it's a great machine, guys. As I say, we have got showcases running up and down the country. So if you'd like to get hands-on with a TM7, if you're still sort of thinking, will I or won't I? Yeah, go to a showcase, get your hands on with one and see what you think. It is completely different to a 5 and a 6. I think it's a very, very good step up. Yeah, I was struggling with how good can they make how can they make a TM6 any better? But they've certainly done it. So I highly recommend you go along to a showcase. My next one I'm running is going to be in Henderson, and that is going to be on Sunday the 8th of June. So if you're interested, flick me a message. I'd love to see you and come along and join us. Anyway, guys, I hope that's given you a little bit of an insight as to my thoughts of a TM7. Yeah, go play with one. Amazing machines. The most common question I'm getting at the moment is when are accessories going to be coming out? So we don't have a firm date on that. What we do know is that they're likely to be rolling out the end of this year. But yeah, as I say, we really don't know. But yeah, by all means, if you have any questions, just yell out. Monica, what am I doing with my poor thing? I've actually got a couple of Thermomixes that I'm going to have to list. I will actually keep a TM6. Yeah, I am going to keep a TM6 because I got my 2 Thermomixes. But yeah, good times, guys. Go and play with the TM7. They're awesome machines. And if I can help you out at all, please just flick me a message, and I'm happy to help. All good. Hey, have a great Monday evening, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. See ya.